What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tooned Up on the Renegade Pop Culture Podcast Network. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me, as always, is my co-captain, Cameron.
Howdy, howdy.
And introducing our special guest for this evening, Millennial Mike. How you going?
Doing pretty good. Good to be here. I love talking about anime, and it's great to see more podcasts, dedicated to it. And so, yeah, I'm ready to delve in, and great to meet you guys as well.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Today's gonna be fun. We our main topic for this episode is a preview of the fall anime special. There's about 27 titles to get through. Who knows if we'll be going through all of them, but yeah,
I'm really curious to see who has the most amount of titles on their watch list.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Cameron. But before we get there, we have some news to cover. So Cameron, what do you got?
Okay, yeah. So most of this is going to be anime news, but we'll get some of the non-anime stuff out first. So on Thursday, Netflix announced that they have a new show coming to the service called My Dad, the Bounty Hunter. It's being directed by Everett Downing, who worked on Maya and the Three and Hair Love, and Patrick Harpin of Hotel Transylvania 2 and 3. The action comedy series follows the toughest bounty hunter in all the galaxy, a man with razor sharp skills, but also a secret. His family on Earth has no idea what he does for a living. So when his two kids accidentally hitch a ride into outer space and crash his latest mission, they discover that their average dad's job is anything but boring. Dodging dangerous aliens and laser fights galore, this family bonding time goes to the extreme. Wait until mom finds out. I think this sounds cute. Let's see. The series stars Russell Hornsby from The Hate You Give. I love that movie. Yvonne Orji of Insecure. Priya Ferguson of Stranger Things. Yvette Nicole Brown of Community. Jacoby Swain. Sorry if I get that last name wrong. Of Troop Zero, Leslie Uggams of Deadpool, Rob Riggle of The Hangover, and Jim Rash from Community. Any thoughts about this? I think it sounds like a fun series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that the poster that they released looks great, and I love this cast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I dig the whole concept that I'm seeing here in the poster, kind of the promotional art. It kind of gives it that, and I've seen this done in a lot of other kinds of fictional work where it's like you have this very kind of out there concepts, a sci-fi concept like a bounty hunter, and then you have these very relatable and almost mundane kind of things that make it seem, it's like instead of bringing the craziness into or the real world into the craziness, you're bringing the craziness into the real world almost.
Yeah, no release date yet, or as far as I can see. But yeah, no, I'll be looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we would be done with new animated shows by this time period, but on November 9th...
What's that supposed to mean?
No, so November 9th, DreamWorks has a new offbeat comedy series called The Mighty Ones, which is being created by Sunil Hall of Pickle and Peanut and The Mighty Bee, and Lynn Naylor, who worked on Samurai Jack and The Ren and Stimpy Show. The 10-episode first season will premiere November 9th on Hulu and Peacock, though I don't know how many people actually have Peacock, so most people are probably watching on Hulu. Not much to say about this one. The voice cast includes Jessica McKenna of Little Big Awesome, Alex Cazares of The Boss Baby Back in Business, Jimmy Tatro of Modern Family, and Leaf. No, not Leaf, sorry. And Josh Brenner. It looks cute. I'm not entirely sure how to feel about it. I mean, I don't really just have a strong impressions overall about this new show.
I'm not seeing it on your list of show notes.
Oh, shoot. Let me give it to you through the Twitter thing.
No problem.
So, Mike, any thoughts?
Well, this came out of nowhere. What a good problem to have with media today is that there's so much of it that every once in a while a show will just slip through the cracks. Like this is coming out next week, and we'll probably cover it on the next episode. But I mean, it looks fine. It looks fun for what it is.
Yeah, no, yeah, like I said, just no real strong feelings. Not to say that it looks bad or anything. It's the trailer was cute, but there just wasn't much to it.
This reminds me of like I'm trying to remember what this reminds me of. It's not. It's like one of those Cartoon Network. Is this Cartoon Network?
No, DreamWorks. So Hulu and Peacock.
Yeah, it reminds me of like I'm trying to think. It's like one of those like goofy kind of like, you know, oh so random Cartoon Network shows like Adventure Time or something like that. I forgot.
Oh yeah, like that. Oh, what was it called? It didn't last long on Cartoon Network. Like Secret Fort Mount Awesome or something like that, or Uncle
Grandpa or something. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what this reminds me of, the art style. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's well, yeah. We'll just have to see. Hope for the best for the show because there's a lot coming out. And speaking of a lot of stuff coming out, HBO Max was in the news because they are just really slaying the animation game right now. We'll first talk about probably the biggest deal out of the bunch outside of the Tiny Toons reboots. Gendy Tartakovsky has a new show coming out called Unicorn Warriors Eternal. And it's set to be released on HBO Max. The description is Unicorn Warriors Eternal follows a team of ancient heroes protecting the world from an ominous force. Throughout history, unicorns have symbolized the virtuous, appearing to ensure that goodness reigns. When the reawakening of our heroes comes too early, they find themselves in the bodies of teenagers. Damaged as a result, their memories of who they are and the history of the unicorn over the centuries have been lost, with some of their magical abilities weakened and fragmented. Not only do they have to protect the world against the prevailing darkness, they have to do it while navigating the unexpected laughs and humor that comes with teen angst and emotions. Well,
I love teen angst.
Yeah, got it. We're about to talk about a few anime that are super angsty, so no shock there. Well, first off, if it has Gendy Tartakovsky attached to it, I'm going to watch it.
Same.
And I love the designs, and apparently it's going to be a more inclusive show, which, it's all for the better. We live in a post-Adventure Time Steven Universe world. No reason to complain about it being inclusive. But I'm curious to see how this will affect the development of Primal, since that's still going on, and they have a second season coming out too. But more Gendy Tartakovsky. That's good enough for me. I'm sorry.
I love this promo artwork.
Yeah.
Robo Abe.
Yeah. I know someone was making fun of the robot in the background, saying like, "Oh, it's like the robot from what was it? It was a Disney film sequel to The Wizard of Oz, but not.
Return to Oz.
Yeah, Return to Oz. That robot at like TikTok or something. Everybody's like, "Well, finally TikTok has some work, employment." And then on top of that news, they've set 3 more Mo Willem projects. Let's see here. Joining the most recent live action special, Mo Willems in the Storytime All Stars presents Don't Let the Pigeon Do Storytime. So it's going to be a bunch of animated films adapted from his books. Have any of y'all heard of Mo Willems?
The name sounds vaguely familiar.
I'm looking up right now. Greenlight. Let's see. He has a few shows. The shows are called like Unlimited Squirrels, The Naked Mole Rat Gets Dressed, The Rock Special, and a live action immersive series, Cat, the Cat Show, Cat the Cat Show, the show with you, the you. That's a mouthful of a title.
The art reminds me of kind of like a newspaper comic or something like that.
Yeah, and it looks cute. But I guess we should, talk about the elephant in the room. Well, there's a few because of the Crunchyroll news, but Tiny Toons is coming back in a new reboot called Tiny Toons Luniversity. And I'm sure this was because of the huge positive reception to the Animaniacs reboot coming out this month.
Well, it could have been. I mean, I'm sure these things are probably planned before, So I doubt that like these things line up so closely all the time because they were intended to, and maybe there was some sort of kind of resurgence in like these classic, because remember they had done the whole Looney Tunes thing actually a while back. That was one of the first bits of content you could actually get on HBO Max. They had the new Looney Tunes series on there as like one of their launch content. So I'm sure this is kind of like a very natural spin-off of that, if I were to make a guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying this like pops out of nowhere, though this news came out of nowhere. Well, at least for me. So let's see here. So it's going to be a combination of Warner Brothers Animation, Cartoon Network Studios, and Amblin Television. So Amblin Television co-presidents Justin Falvey and Daryl Frank will serve as executive producers, and Aaron Gibson of Throwing Shade Podcast will serve as showrunner and co-executive producer. And Nate Cash of Adventure Time is also on board as co-executive producer. I'm kind of mixed on this announcement of Tiny Toons coming back. I mean, not because I'm like, oh, I'm not a fan of it. I remember enjoying it very much. I guess it's like, whereas Animaniacs was a little more timeless with its jokes, even though it made some very dated jokes around some of the episodes. Tiny Toons was very 90s with its references and jokes. But what do you two think?
Man, it's been such a long time since I watched Tiny Toons. As a matter of fact, in my memory, Tiny Toons doesn't stick out as much as Animaniacs did. Like, even though I think it's probably been longer than I really watched, Animaniacs as opposed to Tiny Toons, but Animaniacs is like, and then Pinky and the Brain, like, it's just such an iconic moment, iconic time in my life when it came to, Saturday morning cartoons and whatnot. So, but honestly, I would love to see it again as kind of like a refresher. And I do like these characters. I like the franchise. I'm a big fan of the Looney Tunes, so I'd be up for it. Yeah.
Same.
I actually have been rewatching episodes of Tiny Toons and Animaniacs, and one thing that's kind of immediately apparent is that in like the 3 years since the beginning of Tiny Toons and Animaniacs, the animation has improved greatly. Like those first 65 episodes of Tiny Toons are pretty rough. They don't hold up as well as the rest of the Spielberg Warner Animation collaborations.
Now in the 90s, all that stuff was still kind of like they were entering into the hand-drawn or into the cel-shaded stuff kind of the end of the 90s, early 2000s. Were they still doing hand-drawn stuff at that time, or
as far as I know, a lot of that was like the traditional cell animation.
Yeah, I think like maybe one of the things that holds Tiny Toons back was mostly because it relied heavily on the Looney Tunes counterparts. Like a lot of the main characters were just younger versions of Buster was a younger version of Bugs, and Plucky was, a younger version of Daffy Duck and whatnot. Not to say like they were bad characters. They were quite funny. Like one of my favorite episodes is when Plucky and Hampton try to go into the Warner Brothers studio lot, and they keep getting stopped by Ralph, the security guard. That's just a great episode. I highly recommend watching that one. Because Ralph would soon then end up in Animaniacs as a reoccurring side character, voiced by Frank Welker. But I mean, it like Tiny Toons still had its originality, but from a video I watched recently, a lot of that originality came from the female characters, which was interesting. And though there is some sad news attached to it, that Cree Summers has confirmed, the voice of Elmira. Elmira is not coming back, so that's a bit of a disappointment. But I'm wondering if we're going to get a new cast of characters, or if they're going to take Elmira in a different direction. So
the only reason I'm disappointed in that is because of how much I love Cree Summer. Because if I'm being completely honest, Elmira was never my favorite character, and I don't think any of the other writers liked her either. Because there's a lyric in the theme for Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain, where it says,
gosh.
"It's what the network wants. Why bother to complain?"
Yeah, there was for a little bit during the time of Animaniacs and Tiny Toons, some studio head was hellbent on making Elmira the next big thing. And apparently there was like a pilot made or never produced for Elmira, and then they shoved her in with Pinky and the Brain.
Elmira got two solo episodes in Tiny Toons that kind of served as a backdoor pilot.
I just don't know. I'm curious to see where this show goes, because at least with like Animaniacs transitions well into just bring it in, kind of like the new Looney Tunes shorts from HBO Max. Like, you don't need to change too much, or at least there's not a whole lot to change. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. It's a new show, and yeah. So now we get into some of the smaller anime news. So Kyoto Annie, who I think recently released the Violet Evergarden film.
Love Violet Evergarden. That series is one of my favorite anime series. Period. Like, it's just, I love that series.
Yeah, no, Kyoto Animation's a great studio. I love Liz.
They're the one who got attacked not too long ago,
yeah,
right?
they recently fully recovered from the arson attack from I think a year ago or so.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy. I felt so bad for all the lives lost there. So yeah, of course people know Kyoto Annie for like Liz and the Bluebird, A Silent Voice, Violet Evergarden, and the Free films. They're making a new movie based off of the light novel Tsurune. Tsurune. Yeah, so it's apparently based off of a light novel and an anime series. And, well, it's Kyoto Annie show, so the animation looks great. I don't know if we got the Tsurune series yet. Never mind. It looks like Sentai Filmworks is going to handle some of that stuff, so... it looks nice. I'm not usually big on franchise films, just because I'm curious to see how much they connect to the overall show and such, since a lot of franchise films tend to be kind of like, this is just the story within the movie, it's not going to matter within the main series, which I kind of hate, because they introduce stuff that could have helped in the main series, but it's like,
So, like, do you mean like this is going to be like an addition or a spinoff to the light novel series? Is that what you mean? Like, it's not going to be like the whole story?
I'm not entirely sure. They're saying they just dropped a teaser. I think it's going to follow the TV series, but I'm not in. But there's not a whole lot of information. The only information we have is that like it's being directed by Takayuki Yamamura, who directed Violet Evergarden and Sound Euphonium. The script's being overseen by Michiko Yokote, who did Shirobako and Children of the Whales. That sounds like a cool show.
Oh, yeah, that's another Netflix exclusive. Love Children of the Whales. Good stuff.
Awesome. And character designs are being done by Miku Kadawaki, who did Beyond the Boundary, and Miss Kobayashi. and Miss
Yeah.
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Kyokai no Kanata, right?
Uh,
Yeah, by Beyond the Boundary, you know.
yeah.
The girl with the blood sword.
Oh, well, that sounds gnarly.
Well, it's actually a lot, cooler than it. Yeah, I mean, it's a great series.
Awesome. And the music's going to be done by Harumi Fuki, who did Miss Hokusai and Piano Forest. If you haven't seen Miss Hokusai, that's a great movie. I think
that's one that's on my list. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah, and Richard Epcar plays the famous Hokusai artist. So yeah. But yeah, now it's time to get into the other elephant in the room. Sony is reported. Sony is reportedly close to making the deal of buying Crunchyroll for almost $1 billion. Now, this isn't new. This isn't like, what the heck is going on there? This was kind of a rumor going around a few months back, like right when Infinity Train Book 3 was coming out, and after the San Diego Comic-Con at Home stuff. Rumors were circulating that AT&T, who are into a mountain of debt, are trying to sell off Crunchyroll. And this kind of sucked because this was like right when Crunchyroll was like, hey, we're making deals with Adult Swim, Sentai Filmworks. We're going to make a
Crunchyroll portion on HBO Max too. So you could tell that they were exploiting that with their HBO Max service. You know, you get like a portion of Crunchyroll with that as well. And they were planning on expanding that. But I guess if this news is still swirling, there might be some news of them making some changes, you know, which is interesting.
Yeah. So any thoughts overall about this? I mean, on one hand, it's like, okay, well, I hope all the projects that got announced stay on course. And of course, you know, it'll be just like all of our anime will be in one place. I'm assuming the Funimation now. But it's also, you know, another giant media corporation taking up another anime service with Sony that already owns Funimation.
Well, you know what? Sony's smaller than Warner Brothers. I mean, significantly smaller than Warner Brothers. Honestly, I think this is great news because within the entertainment industry, Sony, there's been a lot of concern that Sony isn't as profitable as maybe they could be. And, you know, mainly that's because a lot of their big franchises, you know, aren't as consistent maybe as some of Warner Brothers or even Disney's, et cetera, right? So, I mean, to see them have like a staple where they can come back to and generate some content that could make them some money, that'd be great. Now, I don't know how $1 billion on an anime streaming service is going to pan out for that larger scope. But I mean, anything to get to kind of like, you know, divide some of these resources up, you know, from Warner Brothers to Sony, that seems like a pretty good trade-off. It's not like, you know, Disney eating Fox. You know, this is great. You know?
I mean, when you put it that way, I can see this being good for Sony. There's just something. I just kind of feel uncomfortable with them owning both Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Well, honestly, remember when Verve had both?
That's
for a
true.
minute. And I love that, you know, and this is the thing, I do agree. So like for the anime community, I think that it's good to have some competition there. But the thing is, like, both Crunchyroll and Funimation, they're not like the actual anime creators, they're just really the distributors. So
that's a good point. Like both of them are basically performing the same function.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, I'm not sure if you know, I mean, like, how many anime distributors are there? And I mean, is that going to hurt the anime distributing business? I mean, I don't know.
There's not a whole lot left. I think that's the worry. Is like it's basically Funimation and Viz Media, and I mean, there's stuff like the retro niche companies like Discotek and
manga.
Yeah, and then there's like Sentai Filmworks, but that's really it. There's no like because, you know, back then there was like Central Park Media, Geneon, and
ADV Films.
Yeah, ADV Films.
Was it manga also another distributor?
Yeah, they were. And then like Urban Vision, there were like plenty. but now it's like down to 3.
Gonzo.
Yeah. So there's like not many. So I mean, I understand the worry, and it's of course like I think people are just having nightmares of the whole Disney Fox acquisition and whatnot. But
this is nothing like that at all. Not even close.
No,
like
no.
Fox owns several companies that dwarf both Crunchyroll and Funimation in size alone.
That's true. No, but it's also like Crunchyroll has a few exclusives that they help co-produce. Like if the not so subtle fact that Crunchyroll is like advertised all over the place in like the God of High School and whatnot.
Yeah, all the new webtoon stuff they've been doing recently is a lot of their their exclusives, and they have like a deal with Ruby as well. I'm not sure what happened with that, but
knowing what's going on with Rooster Teeth right now, whatever they've done,
I left Ruby after season 3, so.
Yeah.
Never even looked back. They're even lost sleep.
Yeah. No regrets or regrets.
Right.
So that's all for that news. But let's talk about the big anime direct that Netflix announced. So basically, on top of the news of like there's teaming up with Science Saru, Mappa, and other studios like Studio Mir for more anime, and then getting in contact with a bunch of other anime directors. They have a slew of new titles coming out, and this includes. So we're going to go through them kind of slowly, but at a faster pace. So there's Rila Kuma's Theme Park Adventure, which is the follow-up to the Rila Kuma and Karu stop motion series, which I don't know if y'all have seen that one, but it's very cute, and it's kind of cool to see a stop motion anime.
This reminds me of a Nihon Animator project that I saw on one of their events that a long time ago. Have you guys watched any of those?
I don't think
the Nihon
so.
Animator, like it's like all these like upcoming artists and animation studios, or they make like some kind of work, and then they're judged as a winner. The winner gets funding to make their content into like the full. Definitely check it out. Type in Nihon Animator, and then there's like one every year. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. I'll have to check that out. I wish I was a lot more knowledgeable about stuff like that, but I just stick to movies for the most part. But yeah, no, it's so Rila Kuma's Theme Park Adventure depicts an active day of incidents and encounters at Rila Kuma, Korela Kuma, and Kiroi, Tori, and Karu go play in an amusement park that is about to close. If it's anything like as laid back as the original series, I'm down for it. It's very cute. So then one of the ones that the host was fairly excited about, Therme Rome Nove. Mari Yamazaki's very popular manga has been brought back to life in the present day in a new way. Nove means new in Latin. So new episodes invented by Yamazaki will be added to the comical adapted manga story about Lucius, a bath designer in the Roman Empire, who accidentally slips forward in time to present-day Japan and learns about Japanese bath culture.
This sounds appropriately absurd.
Yeah, I love absurd stuff like this, and this is kind of the fun. I mean, we'll talk about this with the fall 2020 preview. Anime is so diverse that you can allow stuff like this. So
no, we do allow stuff like this.
Yeah,
I should put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just love it. A Roman ending up in Japan to learn about Japanese bath culture. That sounds awesome.
It's amazing.
So the next one is High Rise Invasion, based on the manga by Miura Suina.
So it is based on. I've read this manga. I didn't keep up with it until it's. I'm not sure if it's done, but
yeah,
I do remember this. This is good.
Yeah, this is an unpredictable and frightening survival story set in high-rise buildings that don't touch the ground. The protagonist Yuri resolves to survive in order to destroy this illogical world and kill the enemy wearing the mask, not the Jim Carrey mask. Well, we could only wish, but what will she do? So it's being directed by Masahiro Takada, and let's see, the series composition is Toko Machida, character designer and animation director is Yoichi Ueda. The music being by Tatsuo Yoichi Sakai, and the animation production company is Zero G. I think this sounds cool. I like the premise, so I'm wondering how this world works.
Here, I'll give you a hint. It's super edgy.
Oh gosh. No,
I'm all about it.
A lot of people like to complain that anime is not edgy anymore, and it's like, oh, you're not watching a lot of anime, are you?
No, clearly it's not. Yeah.
I mean, it's not the late 80s, early 90s edge, which personally I'm kind of fine with that. Yeah, golly, I do not like that. But yeah, don't be deceived by the buxom woman in one of the posters wearing a mask and a French maid uniform
with a sickle and blood all over.
Yeah, run.
You do not want to face her.
Yeah, no. The teaser looked great. They only had a teaser for a few of these. But I'm always interested in seeing how like horror and survival anime are done. I was a huge fan of Japan Sinks. So
really good stuff.
So the next one is Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan. This is by the manga artist who did JoJo Bizarre's Adventure.
No way.
Yeah, it's super obvious. But
and you can tell by the eyes.
Yeah, and the hair and the face,
the lips, the top lip. Yeah.
So everybody's better be like posing in amazing and ridiculous ways. So let's see. So the manga artist from JoJo Bizarre's Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable, saw and heard in a destination he visited to collect material for the manga, based on a story by Hirohiko Araki. Not much else, but I'm always down for the guy who's
incredible.
Yeah, so hopefully the budget is good enough. I mean, I know like JoJo is kind of known for its limited animation, but like it makes up for that in personality. Let's see, David Production is behind this, and I think David Production's pretty well known in anime. Let's see. I'm going to quickly see what they've done.
The question is, how many people know about production studios at all?
Well, that's what I like. I like to look into this stuff. So they've done the JoJo Bizarre Adventure stuff, Cells at Work, Fire Force.
That one. Fire Force, the first like 2-3 episodes, the budget was off the chain.
Oh no!
Or at least in the first season. Yeah.
So but yeah, so I don't know. I trust that studio. So this was the one that I saw a lot of people get excited for. The Way of the House Husband. the most evil Yakuza, Tatsu, is a legend in the underworld. He chose to walk away from the Yakuza to become a full-time house husband. Based on the story by Kosuke Ono. It's being directed by Chiaki Kon, who did Nodame Cantabile and Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Eternal, the movie. And it's being animated by JC Staff. So
head tilts.
Yeah. I mean, I know JC Staff doesn't always have the best reputation, but if this could be anything like a Sleepy Princess in a Demon Castle, just be like funny with like little stories with for each episode, I'm down. I think this sounds like a fun idea.
JC's doing they did the season 2 of One Punch, right? Was it JC?
Let's see, JC Staff. Yeah.
And I wasn't. I mean, like some of the scenes they're decently done, but they just have this very weird, like inconsistent art style. I feel.
I think what happened was that like One Punch Man season 1 got super popular.
Well, Madhouse is pretty much the GOAT of animation studios.
Yeah, and apparently Madhouse and the original director of season 1 were busy doing something else, and the people who wanted.
I think it was Mob season 2.
Yes. Yeah. And so basically what happened was One Punch Man got pushed onto a different studio by a different director, and it just didn't turn out as well, which is a shame, but this stuff happens because, they wanted to, you could have either waited a year or 2 for the next season to come out, or you just get the next season out as soon as possible. But
this is why you can't rush art.
Yeah.
Well, season 2 was I mean, although the art, the animation I felt could have been better, the story was fantastic, and the character development, I mean, it was great. In some ways it was better than season 1, and I was super skeptical, very skeptical. So, but I mean, in general, I mean, other than just the art itself, I think they did a pretty good job. You know.
Awesome. I haven't checked it out yet. I've only seen season 1.
Mm.
So updates to previously announced titles. This is one I've been looking forward to. Eden, a completely new story from director Iri Yasuhiro and the creators of the world. This sci-fi fantasy follows Sarah, a girl raised by 2 robots, as she confronts the world. The director is Yasuhiro Ire. Character designer is being done by Toshihiro Kawamoto. And it's production anime production is Cubic Pictures and CG. That's certainly a studio name.
I wonder what they specialize in.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to this because I remember seeing a teaser a while back and like I know there are a lot of anime fans who are just kind of flippant about anime using CGI. This stuff looks great. I think the teaser for it looked pretty fantastic, and I like the story about this world where humans apparently don't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I love these kind of Studio Ghibli sounding ideas with like these 2 robots taking care of this kid.
Yeah, no, this does look very Ghibli-esque.
Kind
of like almost like a Ranja, like post Ghibli. Like what is the guy's son's name? I forget.
Goro Miyazaki.
Yeah, like some Goro Miyazaki kind of, but with CG.
Yeah. Well, they're making a CG movie and he's directing it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's pretty fitting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This one is, I guess, some people would say is quote unquote anime. The Resident Evil Infinite Darkness release, which is
anime. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's you know how people are
right
about it.
It's not Pingu, you know.
No. But like, so this takes place 3 years after the 2017 Resident Evil Vendetta animated film.
The fight scenes, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm a casual fan of Resident Evil, so but TMS Entertainment's handling the production of it, and Quebico is also handling animation as well. So I mean, it's interesting to see Japanese companies go into CGI series, just because it's like you don't see a whole lot of them.
And these 2 images look great for just like a first look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of hope that most CGI series turn out to be like the ones from Studio Orange, who do, Beastars and Land of the Illustrious, and the upcoming and they're handling the upcoming Godzilla Singular Point.
The biggest complaint that I find most people have with CG is really just the frame rate. Like, the issue is that when you have CG content, that's not all CG. That the frame rate of the 2D animation and the frame rate of the 3D animation don't always sync up. So you get things that look a little bit inconsistent at times, like the CG or the 2D is out of place. But with this, it looks like it's completely CG. So it's no different than watching a video game cutscene, which we all know are sometimes the most entertaining parts of video games.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people get worried because, the whole Berserk reboot happened, and but no, if you look at companies like Studio Orange and to a certain extent Polygon Pictures, they're getting there. I think they're just kind of working things out still. I know the Gantz CGI film that was made a few years ago was pretty impressive in general, but it looked like on like Advent Children and whatnot on that level.
Yeah, Advent Children was great for the day. I watched that not too long ago, and it really, I won't say like it, I mean, it does hold up. Like, it's, there's obviously, it's dated, but I watched it again. I'm like, this is really good for how old it is, and being that it's completely CG.
Yeah, no, you can get away with clunky CG or at least CGI if you have a good style behind it. That's how I kind of look at it. I mean, that's kind of how I look at like anime productions in general. It's like because I mean, we'll talk about Akudama Drive a little later, but it's like someone commented saying like, man, I'm surprised that the studio that made a good anime. And it's just like, it's all really who you have behind it. It doesn't always matter about the studio.
And how much time you have too.
Yeah.
Special effects CG you need time to flesh it out. And when you rush it, that's when things look bad. Any studio can
Yeah.
rush it. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so the next one is Vampire in the Garden. This is the first look. So once upon a time, there was a world where vampires and humans lived together in quote unquote paradise. This is the story of a young girl, Momo, and the vampire queen, Fine, who traveled in search of paradise. This is being produced by Wit Studios, who worked on Attack on Titan. The director is Ryotaro Makihata, and it looks. I like the look of these photos.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's definitely a lot of girl on girl romance going to happen, because you can't have a vampire anime without some kind of romance happening.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I think it's going to come down to story execution for this one, but we'll see. I think it looks nice. We'll see next year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this one's one of my favorite production announcements. Yasuke. This is being done by Mappa, and it's being directed by LaShawn Thomas, who worked on Cannon Busters for Netflix.
Did you watch that one?
Yes, I really enjoyed it in terms of like a retro anime kind of thing vibe.
Yeah.
I like the opening. I thought that opening slaps. So in a war-torn feudal Japan filled with mechs and magic, the greatest Ronin never known, Yasuke, struggles to maintain a peaceful existence after a past life of violence. But when a local village becomes the center of a social upheaval between warring daimyo, Yasuke must take up his sword and transport a mysterious child who is the target of dark forces and bloodthirsty warlords. So I'm not going to look forward to looking up all the responses for this one, because there's going to be some twits on Twitter being like, there was never a black samurai, even though there was a black samurai. Yasuke was a real person, and there's even a movie being made about him. I think Daniel Kaluuya is going to play him, but I have to look that up. It's been a while.
Well, the fact that there's one makes it even more interesting to make a movie or an anime about it,
Yeah.
or I wouldn't say just one, but the fact that it's not common, it's like, oh, that's an interesting story to tell.
Yeah. Though the little thing that they kind of skimmed over in the background is that Lakeith Stanfield is going to be Yasuke. And
that is great casting.
Yeah, he plays
both
as,
him and Daniel Kaluuya.
Morales, right?
But yeah, no, of course, a lot of people would know Lakeith Stanfield from that Trainwreck Death Note adaptation where he plays L.
He was the best part of that.
Yeah. Well, and Willem Dafoe.
Right. Wait, Lakeith, that sounds like, does he play in he's Morales? No, who plays Miles Morales?
No, that's
you're thinking of Shamik Moore.
Oh, well, why did Lakeith? I don't know. I thought
you would know him. Do you watch Atlanta?
No.
Or have you seen Sorry to Bother You?
I pretty much only watch. You know what? I know who that is because I know the cover.
Yeah,
he's on the cover. I know the dreads. He has the dreads.
Yeah. He plays Darius in Atlanta, and he was in Get Out. He was the guy who got jacked.
And he did play in the Death Note, in adaptation.
Yeah, and he was also a detective in Knives Out.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. You don't see a lot of big celebrities get attached to anime unless it's like a film project.
Last time there was a Black Samurai, there was a big person attached.
I know, Afro Samurai with Samuel Jackson.
Yep.
That's a fun, gory bit of goofiness. I love that one.
And now you can't have a classic anime without another Nobunaga.
Oh gosh,
how many Nobanagas do you need?
Well, it's either that or there's a character who also appears just as much as Nobunaga Oda. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Ninja Resurrection. Let's see. What's his name? Leader of Amakusa Shiro. That historical figure appears everywhere, and usually as a villain. I need to educate myself a little more on that, but moving on. Now this one excites me. Godzilla Singular Point. So this series features a brand new staff and original story which depicts the young geniuses Mei Kamino, a female researcher, and Yoon Arakawa, a male engineer, as they take on an unprecedented threat with their companions. This is being directed by Atsushi Takahashi, and it's being a production of Studio Bones and Studio Orange, which will Orange will handle the CGI animation for this. And the teaser looked great. Do you mind if I go on a little rant about the Netflix Godzilla movies?
Yeah,
by all means,
I haven't seen any of them actually yet.
Well, they're garbage.
Oh, really? Okay.
They are not good. Well, to me, they're not good. It barely has Godzilla in it, and I think it's done by the
So
same
you
people.
probably didn't like that the first Godzilla that they made out of the series, the recent series, directed by who was the guy who directed that movie? You know, the not King of the Monsters, but the one before that.
Oh, the one by Gareth Edwards.
Yeah, I like that one, but you probably, he was kind of enigmatic in that movie. He wasn't necessarily like the main character, so to speak.
I like the 7 minutes he shows up in.
So you want just a good old kaiju movie? Is what you want?
Well, that's kind of my problem. I made a Twitter thread about this recently, like a few hours ago, where I'm fun. Like, I love the OG Godzilla movie, and I love Shin Godzilla or aspects of it.
Yes, that's my favorite.
But I'm kind of ready for people to kind of come back to not dissing on when Godzilla was just fighting other monsters.
You want the guy in the rubber suits? What you want?
Yeah, I want monsters fighting monsters, and it's not like I don't like it when he's like the symbolic elements and commentary of nuclear warfare and whatnot. But it's like we already have like two pretty great movies in general about that. I kind of just want. It's like it seems like it became kind of a hipster thing to hate on the goofier Monster Mash or Monster Fights films from the old days. And granted, there are some garbage ones like Godzilla's Revenge, which also barely had Godzilla, but it was also barely
what's
a
the one
movie.
with the tractor tail, and he can like slide forward on his tail. Like, what's that one?
Godzilla versus Megalon. And like, I mean, like, I liked Shin Godzilla, but I kind of want that to be its own thing. It's just like, let that be.
It's like its own kind of universe.
Yeah. So like, I like that the first thing that they show off in the teaser are monsters. You see monsters left and right. You see Rodan. You see Anguirus. You see, I think was Titanosaurus. And like, I just want to see Godzilla fight monsters. And I feel like that's too much to ask. But I also know that, like, I hope the human characters are interesting enough, because that's always kind of like the downside to Godzilla films, that you don't care about the humans. But what do you two think about the Godzilla Singular Point?
The trailer looks great. I'm hoping that these two human characters have more meat to them than some of the more recent American films. Even though I'm like one of the few people who loves Godzilla King of the Monsters, I still think like the American Godzilla films have not nailed the human characters, but that's okay, because we're here to watch the monsters fight.
Right.
Yeah,
I prefer I actually, so as far as like that's a good question about like, this new one. I haven't actually seen the trailer. I can't seem to find. I saw like a Remind Me on Netflix, but just in general though, I mean, I do prefer where he's more of like this enigmatic force, where he's kind of he represents kind of like the terror, and you get to see him every once in a while. I do definitely prefer that. I mean, but I'm also a big fan of a classic kaiju as well. So I mean, in general, I think that the Japanese would be able to really pull it off, especially with an anime. I think you'd be able to actually pull off that really crazy kaiju story in an anime really well, in my opinion. So I'm up for it for sure.
Yeah, so Bones is the studio who did like Cowboy Bebop the movie, and they're currently working on My Hero Academia. And or like I said, Orange is the studio that does Beastars, which it has like the best or one of the best uses of CGI. And they're handling the CGI, so Godzilla's going to look great. The biggest problem with like the 3 Netflix Godzilla films is that it was really more of a sci-fi story than a Godzilla movie, because it's like, and it's like then they'd have like title BS where it was like the first movie was Godzilla, Planet of Monsters. Well, none of the Godzilla like monsters ever actually show up properly. and it's all these generic monsters and whatnot. And Godzilla barely shows up in it, and then it's like they take this crazy twist where this alien species is a cult for King Ghidorah, and King Ghidorah is just a bunch of these energy snakes and not the big 3-headed dragon that we all know and love. And it's just a bad. I just think it was like the wrong team of people. I think they worked on like Psychopaths and Steins Gate.
Wait, those are amazing. Production IG does both those too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And
I know Production IG does Steins Gate.
But yeah, and it's just like Polygon Pictures was attached to those 3 films, and the animation's clunky. There's a bunch of areas where they reuse assets, and it was just disappointing. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. Now, the one I was kind of shocked to hear about, the next one, Pacific Rim: The Black. This is of course, a continuation off of the 2 films. The first one being the only good one. So there was a time when kaiju rose from the Pacific Rim only to encounter gigantic robots, Jaegers, built to fight them back. And that time has passed. Now Australia has been overrun by kaiju, forcing the evacuation of an entire continent. Left behind, teenage siblings Taylor and Haley embark on a desperate search for their missing parents, teaching themselves to pilot a battered, long-abandoned Jaeger to help in their quest and give them even the slightest hope of surviving. So Craig Kyle and Greg Johnson are running the shows, and the production companies are Legendary Entertainment and Polygon Pictures.
I think it makes too much sense for Pacific Rim to finally get like an actual anime.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like the first movie kind of feels like a live action anime adaptation of an anime that never existed.
Wake me up when we have an Evangelion live action.
Oh, I'm sure that's coming like in 2025.
Yeah.
Really? Dude, so first and foremost, would it be Hollywood or would it be Japanese wood or whatever?
I'm sure Japan would be the first one to tackle it, since they do most of the anime because they have like specific studios made for live action anime adaptations. So then one of the last things they talked about was like Transformers War for Cybertron, the next series of their War for Cybertron trilogy miniseries. It's coming out soon. It's being made by Rooster Teeth and Hasbro and Polygon Pictures.
Rooster Teeth is making a Transformers anime?
Well, the first series was released maybe 2 months ago or so. And from what I heard, it's like 6 episodes, and I've heard pretty positive things in general, but it kind of Transformer fans are kind of like, you catch them on a certain time of day kind of thing.
Right.
So then one of the surprising announcements, because anime is becoming a global production thing, a series called Trese. So this is a anime being made in the Philippines. So it's set in Manila, where the mythical creatures of Philippine folklore live in hiding amongst humans. Alexandra Trese finds herself going head-to-head with a criminal underworld composed of malevolent, supernatural beings. It's being the creators are Bujete Tan and Kajo Baldissimo, and it's being produced by Base Entertainment.
I'm getting Ghost in the Shell vibes from the promotional picture they have.
Oh yeah, well she looks like the main character from Ghost in the Shell. Right. But I think that's kind of cool.
Kusanagi.
Yeah, Kusanagi. I think this looks kind of interesting to me. The Philippine folklore part actually caught my attention the most out of that, because you just don't get that much kind of attention there. I think one of the few times you see it was in in a short story in Hellboy, where he fights one of those headless or like the head. It's like this vampire with a floating head and like the intestines attached to it.
Like a Gorgon, or
not a Medusa-like thing. It was like a vampire kind of monster.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. As a matter of fact, there's a game called Indivisible where you get those same monsters in there.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's exactly.
That's a great game, by the way, which also I think uses like a lot of Philippine.
Asian.
Folklore. Yeah.
So, Mike, any thoughts?
There's one name that stands out in the press release. Jay Oliva.
Oh, Jay Oliva, guy's amazing.
Yeah, he's directed a lot of the DC animated films, and his name on top of like, exploring more of Philippine folklore has me super jazzed for this.
Yeah. So then they talked about the part 2 to the Beginning Succession, which is a sequel to an anime that came out I think a few years ago, and it's now getting like an official release. Yeah, it's being made on Production IG, and let's see. After Keith and Koku solved the incidences successfully, the world has regained its composure. In the months since then, Keith returns to the RIS to conduct his own investigation, and Koku is living a peaceful life with Yuna. They are visited by Kirasame, who was once supposed to have broken up with Kuro in the death at the Fora Blanca Institute. I kind of like. I haven't seen the first series, but what did you think about it?
It was strong in the beginning. The ending was a little bit, I don't know, a little bit anticlimactic, but the art's good, and I like the overall kind of like mystery tone. It's got an interesting. I think it's the sort of thing where you definitely want to see a season 2. So
awesome. I'm well. One of the things that caught my attention was that it looks like we have a main character who's not 12.
Yes, I do appreciate that.
I know it just reminds me of that Pro Z video that's making fun of all of that fact, like the guess the anime character's age, where it's like they have all these like complex and like deep and tragic backstories, and it's like, how old am I?
Yeah,
and it's like 20. I'm 14. How do you have a job?
Right. No, that's one thing I like about this too. Is that Production IG has always done such an amazing job with taking on stories about adults that look like adults. Like Steins Gate is one, of course. This one is one. Psychopaths is also another one. Very, very moody. Lots of time like mystery. Not edgy, but very like moody kind of thing going on. Like urban, very urban.
Yeah. No, I mean, like a lot of people like to complain that modern anime is like way too reliant on young characters, and that's true. But there was a time where like you could see like characters in their late 20s, mid 30s. Mm-hmm. It happens. It's just not often, and they don't look their age.
Right.
So there's also, I think, I don't know if this was clear, or like I don't think it was clear to me that they're going to do one more adaptation for Baki Hanma, which is, of course, based off of the famous and very popular Baki franchise. The story finally unfolds into a full-blooded clash between Baki Hanma and his father, Yujiro Hanma, who is known as the strongest creature on Earth. The climax of the Baki universe, which depicted the strongest parent-child brawl in history of the world. So it's being produced by TMS, and have either of you seen the Baki anime on Netflix?
I have not.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, but I haven't seen it. Yeah,
it's fine. I mean, the one thing you have to know going in is that it does not start at the beginning. It actually starts way further into.
Well, there's an original Baki anime that came out in like the 80s, 90s, something like that, right?
Well, let's see. There was an OVA, and then Funimation put out another Baki series. Like the OVA was put out by Central Park Media, and fun fact: the old man in the Baki series is voiced by the same actor who plays Double D and Ed, and Eddie. So it's weird to hear his voice come out of a character in anime. Though he's also in like Ranma 1/2 for one character. I forgot which one. But like Baki's like a very manly anime per se, because it's like I heard this in a podcast described as, all those like fake baloney marketing campaigns for like karate, where it's like you could be this buff and know karate and such.
Right.
And runs with it, because there's like a lot of baloney in Baki, which is like frustrating but also kind of amusing in that. Mm-hmm. Like it's like one of the fights is this guy, one of the characters who's a master of karate, and he's fighting this well-known American killer who puts him in an illusionary spell, of like he doesn't know he's under a trance, and the killer was going to kill him, and then the karate guy blocks his strike, and he's like, "How did you block my strike?" And he's like, "I am so good at karate that I can fight you even while under your spell."
Right, that's classic anime like there, I guess.
Well, yeah, and everybody's roided out to like hell and back. Like even look at if you just look at the photo of the illustration of Baki, like that's not even how muscular they can look. They looked like
every strand, you can see every muscular strand.
Yeah,
it looked like some kind of like body worlds like thing with like, their skin is so tight around their muscles that it looks like latex almost.
Oh god, it's gross. But but no, and everyone has like a torso that's like 3 feet wide. And there's even a character that you meet in the current season story arc that's 142 years old, but he can still kill you.
Is he also like super buff with muscles on his muscles?
Oh no, he's actually an old man, frail old man. It's kind of like if Master Roshi kind of got a little roided out, but not to the point. Not to the extent that you see Master Roshi like get buff, but like kind of like a little bit before that. But I mean, I don't know. I think it going into a 2D animation direction kind of hurts it because the characters are so overly designed because of the muscles and look. So like it's one of those anime that relies on like striking and posing to to make like the impact satisfying. I kind of think, and I don't know, this might be controversial. I think Kengan Ashura did the right thing by going CGI because it's a series similar to Baki, but I think it's better. And it's better because the CGI lets the characters actually move and punch and such. It's not just like strike a pose, strike a pose, and we'll add like speed lines and whatever.
Honestly, I that's a really interesting take because I honestly feel that most CG, even some of the most well done CG, feels like it lacks a certain amount of impact because the emotions don't feel as fluid. Like there's a little bit of stiffness there. So whenever someone lands a punch, I feel as though it's like someone's playing with toys, as opposed to like a 2D animation. I think a lot of the pose striking, the flashes, the things like that, I mean, when done properly, does do a good job at communicating that kind of the impact and speed, seeing like someone move from one point to another point without seeing what happens in the middle. Like those are really great shortcuts that are super effective to kind of represent power and speed and whatnot, in my opinion.
I agree. I think it's really how you execute it. And yeah, definitely one of the biggest problems that I think CGI anime is still getting over is the weight of how characters move and such. Because there's definitely
they feel very light.
Yeah, they're very floaty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think look up a few fights of Kengan Ashura on Netflix and look up fights of Baki, and you'll maybe see. I mean, I don't know. I'm like, if you agree, cool. If you don't, cool. I don't really. I just think it's just an observation because both happen to be on Netflix and they're kind of the same show. But and then finally, there's a new Spriggan series coming out. It's based off of the legendary manga that took the world by storm in the 1990s, has been vividly brought to this animated series by utilizing 2D drawings and 3D CGI. The legacy of an outstanding civilization that once existed on this planet is said to still be hidden in various parts of the world. The military of major powers has intervened in the excavation and research of this mysterious and powerful heritage, and has begun battling over it. At the same time, an organization called Spriggan is working to seal up this ancient civilization. So, if you're an anime fan, you may recognize Spriggan from the movie that ADV put out. And it's basically another action anime. But it had like a lot of really nice, at least the film, even though the plot was just kind of okay. The action in the anime was great, especially when one of the characters is basically blown to bits with a like an anti-tank turret So yes,
I've seen this Sprig anime, so that's really I or heard of it. Matter of fact, so I'm really surprised because typically anything I haven't seen, I've usually heard of, but this Spriggan, I haven't heard of that at all. So I must be
Yeah, this one's new to me as well.
I kind of knew about it because I was a big ADV fan back then. So, yeah, I think the film still holds up. I haven't watched it in ages, but yeah. Any thoughts before we go into the fall 2020? If that's like the overall announcements, like.
Overall, I'm just really happy with Netflix really diving headfirst into anime and animation in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I think it all looks promising. I mean, like I think a lot of people give Netflix flack because they do the whole like not dump. That sounds very negative. They release the entire season in one go instead of doing weekly simultaneous releases.
People give Netflix flack for that.
Yeah, because people like their simulcasts. But I've seen some people and some anime content creators kind of do like give Netflix a grading on that kind of regards, because for some reason, even though like I'd be more annoyed with like Amazon or Crunchyroll or Sentai Filmworks or sometimes Funimation, but really it's like I don't care like what service does better. I just want the anime to be good, because it's like it's not going to be the service's fault if like it's not. I mean, it's partially Crunchyroll's fault because it's an exclusive. Like Jibiate is the worst anime I've seen this year. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's an interesting discussion. Interesting, point to bring up about releasing your content all at once versus releasing it, simulcast, releasing it weekly. I personally think that if you do want to release everything at once, I feel like the show needs to be made in such a way where it works as like a movie. Because if you're gonna watch it all at once, typically you're watching it all at one time. You want the story to kind of flow from beginning to end. Because what I find is with a lot of long shows that you watch all at once, that you binge, is that a lot of things you gloss over. Like things that aren't that great, you gloss over. Things that are maybe important, you gloss over. But if it comes out every week, you can stew over, you can rewatch it, you can reflect on it, and then it's it leaves a little more. It can leave more impact. But then if the show doesn't really do that at every episode, then it makes it feel like, man, do I really want to return? Do I want to go back? So it really just depends on the thing. It has to be good if you're gonna do it weekly.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's kind of the thing. Like with Jibiate, it did not do a good first impression. It didn't do a good second impression with the second episode. And by the third episode, I was just like, this is going to be my hate watch for the season. And at least like with something like Netflix, I can watch the whole season right then and there. Right. And I don't have to worry about like, is it going to stay great? I can know right then and there.
Right. Well, a lot of times if it's not great, you can just push to another episode. It's easy to just watch the next episode. Then by the time you know it, you're done. And you watched a mediocre show and you're like, yeah, it was fine, but it's done. It's the deed has been done.
Right. Mike, do you have an opinion? Do you prefer weekly releases or just get to the whole season in one go?
It depends. Some like from a very selfish perspective of I just want to watch this all in one sitting. Yeah, it is nice the Netflix model of dropping it all at once. But as Mike brought up, some shows you want to like give each episode time to breathe, and also for the sake of like water cooler discussions, which I almost feel like doesn't really happen much anymore outside of like a few exceptions. Releasing weekly gives like you and your friends time to like talk about the episode, maybe discuss some theories, and create more like a community surrounding it.
Right. No, I agree. I agree with all that.
It's better for advertisement too.
Yeah.